How you doing? Apparently not as good as you think. I got some bad news for you. Today is September 24th. You're probably seeing this after that, right? Apparently, the rapture was yesterday. Once again, we missed it. Well, I mean, right? You're still here, right? Maybe I'm not. It's a possibility maybe I got, because, apparently it didn't happen on the 23rd. So now they come out and, the experts are letting us know that it could also be the 24th, 23rd or 24th, maybe even the 25th, right? But all the signs are there, all this and that. But the thing is, maybe I was raptured, right? This is a pre-recorded broadcast right here today, right? So by the time you're seeing this, sorry that you're still here. Maybe I am, maybe I ain't. We'll see. You have to watch for updates. Let's get serious for a minute here, right? So they're claiming this happens almost every year, close to this time, or annual, every so many years, right? The rapture. And it's understandable. Let's be clear that a lot of these signs are there, but I want to say, I've already said before, that the rapture, I'm not sure where I stand on that, right? We're worried more about what man has taught us, this rapture stuff, right? Than what, when I say that, I mean rapture in the way it's been, the way it's mainstream seen, right? Or thought of. And I don't think it's quite what so many are thinking, right? It's not going to be exactly the way, quite like they're thinking. For one, let's think about this. So many people, let's consider this, all right? Bounce around like normal. But we got stories out there, maybe I'll post some clips, where somebody must have left a cat off in a box. But stories where people were like, their preacher, pastor, whatever, convinced them, said he was like 1,000,000,000% sure that the rapture is going to be this year on the 23rd, September 23rd. And, people started not selling their stuff, giving their stuff away. This one Uber driver, if I can find the clip, or whatever he was driving, right? Driving these people, and they wanted to give him all this money. And, the whole church was getting together. They were giving away houses, like expensive houses, all this stuff, right? Because, but also they're trying, right? Because it's the rapture. One, if you're so confident of this and you're getting rid of all your stuff because you're going to be raptured, why the hell are you crying, right? That should be the most exciting day of your life. But that's not how this is going to work, okay? What don't we understand about, you will not know the day or the hour. You will know all the signs to look for. The point was never, and never is, you show me where Jesus said, he said watch for these things, but not like everyone is for the rapture and stuff like that, right? It's not, whether the rapture is however you think it is or whatever, no matter what, it's right? The point is, we're supposed to be just good people, living the way God wants us to, period. Whether the rapture's here or not, okay? The rapture isn't the issue. It never is, and no one should be focused on that. It's just a fact of what's going to happen and how things are going to happen, but most people got it even screwed up on the facts of it, right? We're supposed to be just good people anyways, period. And that way you're ready when it happens. You won't know the day or the hour, and that's why. So you'll just be good people, period. Not just being good just so you can save yourself, right? Right? Oh, well, the rapture is going to be next week. I better start being good, right? That's what this boils down to. You're being sold. You're making fools of yourself if you believe in the way they do this mainstream, the church leaders and stuff like that. So let's just say, what if the rapture is real, right? The way they're painting it to us. What if it's actually real, exactly the way they're telling us? Let me ask you something. I don't mean to get too personal, but are you a virgin? What? Right? Are you a virgin? Because let's consider this. There's all these people saying like, oh, the rapture's coming, we're going to be saved from all this stuff. Okay, if you don't understand all that, you'll have to look more into it. We can do a separate video on that, whatever. Otherwise, I'm going to assume most people know basically what I'm talking about. Right? So I won't get too specific, right? But basically, the good people, right? The saved people are going to be caught up and rescued from the terrible, horrible, great tribulation that's coming upon the earth. And newsflash, it is true that it has already begun, right? But now these people are like, oh, well, some people are saying, well, right before it starts, we're going to be raptured. Oh, right in the middle of it, we're going to be raptured before it gets real, real bad, right? The rapture, if anything, is going to be when he creates a new heaven and new earth. That's going to be at the very end. He's going to pull us away for a moment because no one will be able to stand the actual end of the old heaven and earth, right? But so, so now we get back to my question. Are you a virgin? Right? Because let's be clear about something. There's also the thing you have to look up if you don't understand, but you should if you're a Christian, the thing about the 144,000 virgins, right? You'll hear something about the 144,000. That's going to be the 144,000 elect, right? God specifically, the greatest of us all is what they are going to be, right? But they're all like 12,000 from each tribe. Anyways, these are going to be 144,000 who have saved themselves and kept themselves as blemish free as possible for God, right? These people, these 144,000, are going to go through the tribulation. They're going to have to suffer through the tribulation. So what makes you think, and I don't mean you specifically, I don't know how you feel, but the general idea there, what makes you think that, one, that more than likely, I don't know for sure, but you're probably not a virgin, right? And if you are, maybe you would consider staying that way because maybe you're right. But the point is, you're not. What makes you think that your sinful ass is going to be caught up and saved from the horrible tribulation that is already beginning right now? You see how bad it's already starting to get, and it's only going to get worse. I've already said that, and I'll continue to say that. It's only going to get worse, okay? So what makes you think that your sinful ass is going to be saved while those 144,000 perfect people are left here to withstand the tribulation. Okay, that's just, if we want to bring, before we have a rightful discussion about the rapture, we got to understand that. We totally have to understand that right there. Now, the other problem is, now these supposed people of God who are running around saying, now it's one thing that Christians amongst themselves or people amongst themselves are talking and saying, oh, the rapture might be, and you're discussing it and thinking about the possibilities, and you believe, well, it's a possibility, right? It is eventually somebody, there's somebody guessing every day, right? But the fact is, nobody actually knows, nor will. Nobody, right? It's when God says, this is the point of enough is enough, okay? But something real is going on. Even the people at the very top who are in control of everything are planning all these things, right? Hopefully, you are trying to get to heaven, right? And therefore, hopefully you're not getting caught up in any of the ways of the mainstream stuff. Like we'll get to the Charlie Kirk thing. I don't want to get too much into that. There's all this stuff going on. Of course, it's conspiracy involved, right? Of course, they're lying to you. None of this stuff makes sense that they're telling us about it. A bunch of stuff just ain't making sense. But they're martyring him, right? And the Christians, this whole Christian movement that backs Trump on the basis that they believe he's the Christian chosen by God and stuff like, and I hate to break it to you, he is chosen by God to fulfill God's plan. That does not mean he's chosen to bless and protect us, right? He's chosen to fulfill the plan, and that is to deceive us, right? To deceive the believers, right? The non-believers don't need to be deceived. I've already said that, right? You need, so the believers should always be on the lookout. Always be on the lookout. And then, how do you know them? By their fruits. Okay, they are acting opposite of how things are really supposed to be. Christian-wise, right? This whole Charlie Kirk thing, right? They martyred him, right? Oh, and I'm not trying to say he's not saved, nothing like that. This ain't nothing to do with anything like that. What I'm saying is that was he leading people more to Jesus, or was he to the truth of Jesus, or was he leading people to politics, right? Was he a disciple of Jesus or a disciple of politics? Because he's just one way, and they are using this, and they jumped on it from the very beginning. I'm not trying to say, who knows whether it was real or not. That's questionable, I guess, right? A lot of the stuff they're telling us is definitely questionable. But they would sacrifice their own to fulfill the agenda. And that's what's going on. And it don't matter who it is. They will sacrifice any of their own to fulfill their agenda. But let's stay on track here now. Back to the rapture. Just in case it might be happening while I'm filming this. I should have maybe live streamed, because if that happens, that way it would be saved. Because otherwise I'm just recording it. So if it happens, then my phone falls down and, it'd be like this. But no one would ever see it, because I wouldn't have been able to upload it.